Hi. Hi. Welcome to Independent Clothing Initiative, a sewing channel. I am so happy that you're here today. Today, we're going to cover 5, this looks like 10, 5 tips that will improve your sewing now. Let's get started. Let's start with a quote. Author unknown. Consistency is a major key to success. If you want to take your greatness to the next level, your old ways of doing things aren't going to take you there. You have to get a new level of thinking and strategize bigger and better moves. That's what we're going to do today. Strategize bigger and better moves. Together, learn how to take your sewing up a notch. A little reminder, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So let's get started. Tip number 1. Tip number 1. Lift up your pressure foot. Put the fabric underneath and the needle down. Pressure foot back down before you ever start pressing your foot pedal. Said more simply, make sure that your fabric is under your pressure foot, needle down, before you start sewing. Why do this? Because it prevents bunching and your fabric from sliding if you start with it underneath the pressure foot, needle down. That's easy. You can start that now. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 that will improve your sewing now. Wet the needle, not the thread, for an easier time threading your needle. I know it sounds kind of funny, but it works every time. If it grosses you out to be licking your fingers and rubbing them on your needle, you can also have a sponge in a dish close by. Wet your fingers on the sponge and wet your needle. Trust me, this tip works. Are you feeling inspired already? Slow down. We have a few more tips to go. Tip number 3. Tip number 3, to improve your sewing now. This is a great tip, especially if you are new to sewing. If, as you sew, you're getting loops on the bottom or the top of your fabric, if you see kind of like a bird's nest, a rat tail of, that's what I call my daughter's hair underneath when she hasn't brushed it for a while, of thread underneath your fabric. You guys, I have a visitor. Hold on. My kids needed fort building materials. I had to pause for that. Okay. So if your thread is doing funny things, okay, now the fort building materials are making their way downstairs. Hold on. So the things that you do are rethread your machine, rethread your bobbin, and change your needle. I don't always change the needle right away. I will try the first 2, rethreading my machine and rethreading my bobbin, and then try sewing again. If sometimes needles get little tiny nicks and things in them from going over pins, a good thing to do is to sew again, see if that is the case, and if it is, you will want to change your needle as well. That tiny nick can make a big difference in getting a smooth finished product. Okay, I know that you can go do these things now, but stay with me. 2 more to go. Tip number 4. Tip number 4, to improve your sewing now. Tip number 4 is to invest in yourself a little bit. Get yourself a magnetic pincushion. This magnetic pincushion I will link in the description box below. It is a Zirkle, and I actually have 2. That's how much I love them. The reason why I have 2 pincushions is one stays at my machine. It catches all the pins as I am sewing and taking them out of my project. The other pincushion usually stays either on the floor where I'm cutting out and working, or next to my iron where I would also be taking pins out. This way it reduces pins being lost, pins being put where they shouldn't be put, and lets me easily go back and forth. When one gets full, I swap them out. Usually the one next to the machine gets full quicker. Why is a magnetic pincushion a good investment? Even if you've just started sewing, pins can be so frustrating. You step on them, you don't have them close by when you need them. They are hard to get in and out of a pincushion. The reason why I like a magnetic pincushion so much is I can, in all seriousness, be halfway across the room cutting out a pattern, and as I cut it out, I take the pins out, and I will take these pins and I will throw them across the room. And they land on it every time. This is about 10 pins. Oh my gosh. The other cool thing is if I do have pins all over the floor, such as these in my hand, then I can just run my pincushion upside down over the top of my floor and pick them up. It just makes my sewing so much easier. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 that you can do today. Iron your fabric for your project before you cut it out. Does this seem like a silly tip? Maybe it is, but I can't tell you how many times and how many times you will want to skip this step. I have done it. I've skipped it many times. For example, in my most recent project, this is a Farah top by Chalk and Notch. Isn't it a beautiful design? It truly is. But I didn't iron it before I cut it out. There were barely any wrinkles. It was almost flat, but I didn't iron it. And so when I cut it out and then ironed the pieces, I compared them to the pattern pieces, and I saw that every single one of them was a little bit too big. And I had to recut it out to the actual size. 1/8 of an inch makes a big difference in sewing. 1/4 of an inch makes an even bigger difference. If your pattern pieces are not the size that they are supposed to be when you start, your finished product will not be the size that you are hoping it will be when you're done. In order to make sure you have that perfect fit, one of the reasons we love sewing garments so much is to iron your fabric even if you think you don't need it before you cut it out. Iron that fabric. I hope you're feeling more confident and more excited to just get behind that machine. Bonus tip! Did you see that coming? Bonus tip number 1. These bonus tips are something that can help sewing be a little bit more enjoyable as you start. Because as we know, starting anything new can feel pretty frustrating. You guys, it's summertime. I have 4 children. The yelling lasts all day long. My 2 extra bonus tips are: 1, wear earphones. Wearing earphones will allow you to continue to listen to music, podcast, books, whatever it is that you love while you sew. Even when the machine is loud, the children are loud, or perhaps you have to get up, move to another room, and come back. It just helps make sewing a little bit more enjoyable. Bonus tip number 2. If you get frustrated, get up. Get up and leave your project for a little while. You can always come back. Sewing isn't something that happens quickly. You'll get better at it and it will become quicker as you go. But don't feel bad about needing to step away from a project for a while. If stepping away breathes in new life and lets you come back and finish that project, then do it. Another quote by, again, an unknown author is, "Insecurity kills dreams quicker than failure will." So, if you're feeling insecure, if as you go it's not becoming fun anymore, get up. Get up, go downstairs, get a snack, say hello to a loved one, take a little walk, come back. This is not a race. Sewing is all about you getting better every day. Your beautiful handmade wardrobe is closer than you think. That's it. I hope you feel encouraged and excited to make some changes today. If these things feel a little awkward at first, keep after it. You've got this. Hope you enjoyed the tips. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I am so excited that you joined me today, and I can't wait until next week at Independent Clothing Initiative, a sewing channel. Bye! Reminder, you're never 100% ready. Do it anyway.